Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So coming back again today with the In Full Bloom Floral Delights Decolarge set, and today I've got the Perfect Primrose and the Joyful Crocus. I think I'm going to be playing with the Primrose, but in this set you've got the two sets of the toppers there, and obviously get two of everything if you buy the ultimate kit. You've got two inserts, you've got your crocus ones, and then your primrose with that beautiful cream colour. You've got your decoupage with the butterfly, or two butterflies, and you don't necessarily have to put them on the butterfly on this set. You could save that and use that on maybe a summer set. So you've got your primrose, no that's not the primrose, that was the crocus decoupage, and then you've got the printed sheets where you've got your primrose there, which you can also layer some of those decolarge layers on, and the beautiful little crocuses there. So let's pop that to the side and grab a card blank, which is 12 by 6, 300 GSM white cardstock. And I'm going to make a card I don't think I've done on video before. If I have, it would have been a long time ago. I'm going to do like a zigzag card. So I've got my 6 by 12 cardstock, and I'm going to score it 4, and then I'm going to turn that around and score it 4 again. Okay, and then just deciding which is going to be my front and which is going to be my back. I think I'll have that as my back. So I'm just going to grab my ruler, which I did put close to hand, and I'm just going to put a little mark at the 2.5, and then if I grab my trimmer, I'm just going to line that mark up in there, and I'm going to line it up with the first score line that I've done here. So I'm going to have that as sort of descending sort of line throughout my layers, so you'll have bits and bits of it peeping through. So if I show you what I mean, so if I fold that over, give that a burnish down, and then fold that back, give that burnish down, and that is my card blank. Okay, now I haven't got any. If you've got A4 gold mirri, it's probably better to use that for these layers, but I haven't got any to hand, so I'm going to be quite wasteful and use these 6 by 6 mirri mats. They're perfect in length, you know, with it being 6 by 4 essentially. It's perfect in length. I will have bits left over that I can use elsewhere though. So I'm just going to take it 2 notches under the 4 and 2 notches under the 6. So that piece will go into my little bit box there. I will need a piece for my second card. And then I'm just going to do this 3 times because I am going to have to trim again. I'm not going to do the length though, so I'm just going to do it 2 notches under the 4, and again 2 notches under the 4. And then if I pop that to the side for a moment. So what I'm going to do with these layers, I'm just going to put a little bit of the dotty tape pen on. I'm going to lay that on in the middle where I want it, and then what I can do is pop that across there. That means I'm going to be cutting that angle completely correct, and I can always take a bit off the bottom and you can rub those dots away. So I'm going to do the same with the smallest piece. Now I do just have to make sure I am going to get that the right way. So that isn't the right way, is it? We'll see. Yeah, so make sure you're putting them on the way that they will be on your cardstock, otherwise your angle will be wrong. Not that it's that big a deal, you just have to make a second card and do the angle going the other way. Right, so if I do, and then I know I need that one there, and then this one, let's leave that on there a second. Again, just a little bit of those dots. Pop it around about where you want it to be. And again, line across. We can always trim from the bottom to make the length correct, but it's that angle on the top that we really want to try and get spot on if we can. And like I say, those dots will just rub away. Okay, so let's pop that to the side, and that back one should be fine if that's the one I've not trimmed down. Yep, so that one fits on perfect. Okay, so now what I can do is put that line in my trimmer, pop that across, and then I can see how that looks on there. Let's see, we'll get rid of that bit, and then I'm just going to take it to just over the one notch on that second part, just because it is slightly wider, and I'd rather cut off too little and cut twice than cut once and then be sort of stuck with a piece that's not quite as nice as I want it to be. Okay, that one's fine, and then same again with this one, just putting that line, just that little bit there. I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom there, and then if I pop that up, just see how that sits, and that is sitting fine. Okay, so I'll keep that as quite a nice big bit. It'd be alright for cutting butterflies or what have you out of. Okay, so for the back piece, I thought I would use the insert. So I'm just going to use this pale yellow, but I'll cut that on the other guillotine because it just tends to cut a lot better on there. And then for these pieces here, so I'm going to cut these at 3 3/4. Probably going to have to cut another piece, but it would be nice if I can get that way. Is that going to okay, so I'm going to do the same again, just a little bit on that piece. I'm going to aim for this blue piece to be at the bottom. You won't see a lot of it anyway because the topper will be on it. I'm just going to pop that on nicely lined up. I'm going to take that line across the bottom, line that up in my trimmer. Let's see how that fits. So we just need to take that little bit off the bottom. Should be around about there. Okay, you can see you've got that perfect edging all the way around. This piece here, if you wanted to make another one of these cards, you've got that piece there and you would be able to use that. I think it's going to be too small for this piece. Yes, it is. So I'm going to keep that to hand, and I might just use it up on the second set, and we'll see how we go from there. So just going to cut another piece that's going to be 3 3/4. So still could do a DL with that card, and again just pop that to the side, use my dotty tape pen. If you haven't got a dotty tape pen, there is such a thing as a temporary cloud glue. I think it's called photo glue. It's actually designed so that you can do your photograph albums and then move your photos if you want to after. Just drawing that line across, and that would, you could just put a little blob of that on and then it would allow you to take it off after. But that dot, even though it's a permanent one, just by putting a few on there, it's just holding it in place quite nicely for us. Again, we've got a nice piece there. So let's just check this one. It should just need to take a little bit off the bottom. Yeah. Let's try and just get rid of those dots because it keeps trying to stick. Where are you? There you are. My little glue eraser. These ones have been a bit more stubborn than the other ones were. Okay. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think that is all the cutting I need to do for this card. Right, so let's bring, oh no, and it's not all the cutting because I need to do that piece for the last layer from here. So for this one, it's going to be 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. And that's going to be that cream piece that goes on the back. So it means that that card is still going to be like a normal card that can be written on. So best of both worlds, it's decorative and useful. So the glues I'm going to be using today, I've got my Floral tacky glue in this one. I've got my Floral all-purpose glue in this one, which is an alcohol-based glue, same as the construction glue. And you've already seen my Hunkydory little dotty tape pen, which I use for the papers. So because we're going to do this paper one first of all, I'm going to put some dots in the corner, and then I can use my all-purpose glue to float that into the right place, and those dots will hold it in place for me while the other glue goes off. There we go. I'm just going to use this tool just to make sure it's all pressed down, so it's a nice flat surface for writing on. So then this is going to go onto the back of my card. And if you've got a generous size 6x4 envelope, this will go into that, because bearing in mind you're going to have the 3 layers and then the decoupage on top. You may just need like a little box envelope sort of type thing. Okay, so this is normal layers, so cardstock to cardstock. So I can go ahead, pop that onto there. This is a real pretty ditzy like flower pattern on here. I don't know if you can see that. You can, yeah, it's a beautiful little ditzy pattern there. And then I can just, because we've done all those workings on the back, we don't have to worry about trying to hide them because they're going to be underneath. And I'm just going to come into here. Pop that down, give it a good press down, and we can move on to our last piece. Again, a little bit of my normal glue, so tacky glue just in the corners, and that's just the way I like to glue it. There's 1,000 different ways to do the same thing in craft, which is I think what I love about it the most. And then again, because we're now going cardstock to cardstock again, so it's only the paper where I normally use those glue dots, but you could swap it out with this wet glue if you preferred. If you've got a box of loads of them, there's no reason why you wouldn't But that is going to be our little card blank. You see that's looking pretty special. Okay, so let's grab the actual topper. And I'm going to go with Love. Maybe at the top there. Then we're going to have our layers. I think I might snip this one out. And I'll straighten that up in a second. Okay, so all my planning of this being fitting in a 6x4 envelope. This is going to be slightly wider because that topper is wider. I thought it was 4 inches, but it's not, it's 4.5. So I would say probably best to go in a 7x5 envelope with the layers and things, or you can make a box and there's specifically sized to it. Okay, now for this piece, what I'm going to do is just pop this along the top. So if I put that on there, if I grab my pencil, I'm just going to make a little mark there where I need to cut it, and again there. So let's grab that guillotine this time. I'm just going to pop that in just ahead of where I've put those marks. And again there. That should be it, but just check it. Okay, I might bring it down a little bit just so we've got a bit of that yellow there. That's perfect. Those, and then when it comes to the layers, again I'm going to try and make 3 cards. So let's bring out the 3 biggest, and I find it easier, I'll put it back in there, but that's fine, it's not decoupage. I find it easier to pile them up where I'm going to use them and then use them up straight away. If you're not going to use them straight away, hopefully you'll have some kind of method of storing maybe the decoupage if you're just going to leave some layers, or you might be able to just sort of work it out by looking at the layers. I'm not quite able to do that. Okay, so we've got our 3 biggest pieces there. So I do want more on this one because this is going to be the main one, and I am going to use a butterfly, maybe a smaller butterfly, and we'll put that one with that one. Going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I think I'll probably put that one on there. Okay, so let me separate those up. So that's going to be 1 card, probably the next one. That will probably be my other card, so we'll put those there. Okay, so for this piece I'm just going to use the tacky glue. You can use the tacky glue or the all-purpose glue, or even the tape runner, whatever you feel. I'm just going to pop that in just for a little bit of detail there. And then this one I'm going to have coming up slightly. So again, actually I'm going to just trim. So when I turned it over I could see the pips. Oops, alive. Okay, so we're going to have that up a little bit. So just want it to be below my fingers. for the glue. I want that to be sort of equally coming off both sides. That's about in the middle there, and I have put it coming up just a little. So this one here, I'm just going to use a 1mm foam pad straight onto the back. Take that piece off there, onto there. A little bit of glue just because I seem to be naturally going for a wonky angle at the moment. I'm just going to pop that just under there at the back. And then what I'm going to do, and I will do this off camera, is just pop a load of 1mm foam pads onto the back of all these pieces. And I'm also just going to try and snip any pips that I see. So I'm just going to do that as quick as I can. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've put the backs on and put the foam pads on, 1mm like I said, and I've taken all the backs off, so as long as I don't drop these, I should be fine. I am just putting a little bit of tacky glue over each pad just to give me that little bit of wiggle room time, which means if I don't quite get it in the right place the first time, I can just gently ease that up and it will allow me to pop it down a second time. So next piece is going to be these leaves. So just float that into position. And then I think it's going to be this one. That's a leaf, yeah. And that'll be a flower. I think there's quite a lot more decoupage to the leaves on this Primrose one for sure. So let's turn that round, I suppose because they are quite big green leafy plants. We've got our flower again. Just going to tease it around just a little bit, not too much. And we want to just make sure we put that the right way round. And then we've got this leaf again. You can use your tweezers if you prefer. Sometimes it's a bit easier to use your tweezers, to be honest. And this is another piece of leaf, so I'm just going to round it a little bit. And this one I'm going to use my tweezers on. And I think this is coming in here, yep. Okay, so that is our decoupage. I think I did bring in some green gems. Okay, let's get my knife. I was thinking about doing the gold as well, but I think these ones are going to be perfect. So I'm just going to do 1 and 2 up there. One here as well, and then lastly I've got the butterfly. And what I've done is I've just sort of put my nail on the edge of the body and curved him round, and then on the other side of the body and curved him round, so I've got this flattish piece that I can put my glue on, but the wings are still going to be raised up, and I'm going to pop that at the top there. And that is going to be my finished card. So you've got the levels there. If you wanted to add something on here, maybe another layer, you know, if you wanted to really go all out, you could do. Also, if you still wanted to get it in a 6x4, you're probably not going to lose much by trimming up those ends there on the topper if you really wanted to. I'm going to leave mine like like that. So just get your wings up, mister. There we go. I should let it dry really. But that is card number 1, so I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, I thought I'd do a 7x5 card. Now the orientation on the piece I'm going to use is that way along, so I am going to turn it around to be a side fold. Not my favourite type of card. I find they tend to fall over quite easily, but we will we'll persevere with it. There's not that much decoupage on it that it's going to be super heavy, to be honest, so we should be okay. Also, because I haven't got any gold down here, I'm going to use a little bit of green glitter. I'm not sure if it's a Hunkydory one. I suspect it may be a Crafter's Companion one, but it's very similar to the colours that they have as well over at Hunkydory. So I'm just going to cut this down to 2 notches under the 5, and then I need to pop this little leg out, and 2 notches under the 7, and then this piece here I'm going to go at 6 3/4, and I believe it's just slightly shy of where I want it to be, so it is, yeah, a little bit short, so that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut at 1/2 centimetre, and what I'm going to do is pop this border in that's also on that that sheet with the topper. So again, that needs to be 6 3/4, and that should hopefully bring it up. If not, we will put another piece of card in. There's always, pop that out the way a minute, there's always on the side of the cardstock, you know, I've got this yellow piece here, I've got a piece of purple there I could inlay it with. There's been some on the previous ones as well, you know, maybe even come in somehow with a piece from there or the other one, I'm not sure, but we will see how that goes. Just had an idea, just wanted to see if those would go together, but they do not. Okay, so let's just see if this is going to work nicely for us, or whether I need to do another piece. I think we're going to be fine. So that is going to go onto there, that is going to be there or thereabouts. My hands are not very grippy today, and then that's going to go across, so that's going to be fine. Okay, so let's bring in my card blank. I'm not sure if this is a sticker paper, I'm hoping it's not, but it is. And I'm wondering whether I want to okay, so what I'm going to do is just peel a little back, pretty much like I do with my red liner glue really. I'm going to pop that down with a little crease on it. And then if I pop this at the bottom of my card, just until we get to where I am happy. And then should be able to just smooth that down. Phew. There we go. I hate using sticky things like that. I really do. Invariably go wrong for me. Okay, so because I'm going on to glitter card, I think probably the best thing for me to use is going to be just my tacky glue. So let's just use that one. So I'm just going to put a nice amount on. It's not flooding it. I do want it to sink into those glitter fibres and hold on to it. I mean, this is a non-shed glitter, you know, you don't get any on you. For those of you who don't like the feel of glitter. It doesn't particularly bother me, but I know there are people that do not like it. Okay, so we've got that piece in position. Just want to make sure I've got that one the right way around. I'm going to pop that down a little bit. There we go. And then this piece is going to go onto there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of my little foam pads, purely because if I try and lay that, because this is so close to that side, the glue is not going to make contact with the glitter paper underneath. So I think it's going to be better for me just to put this on a little bit of height. You still won't see that gap is there, but and what I'm going to do is pop these into the middle. It's just going to be easier than trying to make sure they're in the center of the strip. So putting a nice load down. I do want it to be quite well supported. I'm going to need one more at least. That's right to the edge. Okay, so let's just take all of these backs off. I'm still going to put a little bit of tacky glue on to give me a bit of wiggle room with this border. If you didn't want to use the border, you could just use a piece of plain adorable scoreable, maybe with a little bit of ribbon on. That would look nice. Maybe with a piece of foiled acetate on, you know, over the adorable scoreable to give you that sort of detail. Yeah, loads of different ways that you could hide this little gap here. I do tend to do it with ribbon, to be honest with you, but when you've got a border like this on the kit, then you know, it's nice to use it on. Now, is that straight? Not sure. Where's my little ruler? Ooh, definitely not. Let's push you up a little bit. Yeah, that's better, I think. Though to me it looks like it's on the wonk, but excuse my grey hair. No, it needs to come down just a little bit. Right, we will make do with that. Okay, I've got my little pieces there, which we will do. I'm not sure which sentiment I want. Well, we've got some other little pieces here as well we could use. So I'm definitely going to come in with one of those at the bottom. We have a wishing a bright and beautiful birthday. Since we've got a nice spot there, might even come over the top of that even. That might suit me a little bit more, yeah. And then some gems here. I think that is going to be good. Or we could have our butterfly sort of coming in from over here as well. So let's just pop out these pieces. So not a lot of decoupage on this one, just 3 pieces. Again, I'm going to use those 1mm foam pads. Just a little pip there. I think that's fine, that's fine. Okay. So I'm just going to cut this into sort of chunks to start off with. Oh, it's just the same message about Windows Defender summaries. Okay, this is going to take a little bit of time. What I'm going to do is fast forward to when this is done and the backs are off. Okay, so I've taken all the backs off. So I'll just clean up the nozzle, didn't notice that. It just gets a little bit gunked up sometimes. And I'm just going to put some tacky glue on all of these. Can't do that beforehand because it will dry. And this again just gives me that bit of manipulation time to make sure I've got it where I want it. It's on there. This is the flower, that next bit is the leaf. Again, just a little bit of glue. And then that's going to go on that little bud there and flower. Got our leaf. And there. This one, this little corner, I'm going flat with. You can pop it up if you prefer the look of that. Just gives me some time to get that into the right space. I like that. Again, I've done the same, just put my nail along the outside of his body, bent those wings up and sort of arched them over a little just to give them a little bit of dimension. And I'm going to come in a little bit over here just to fill this big space. Okay. And then I've got this border, this sentiment rather, and I am going to pop it, I think, around about there. And I've just put narrow foam pads on the edge, both sides, because it will be supported by this middle piece anyway. So I didn't take the backs off these just in case I had a wildly different idea once I'd put the layers on and stuff, but I'm happy that I was on the right lines. Excuse me, Mr. Butterfly. Just lift that up. I'm happy with that there, and I'm going to tilt him over. Now, what I wanted to do, so we've got some sort of dewdrops on these leaves. So I've got two types of gems. I've got these little dewdrop ones which are clear, and I want that one, and I want a smaller one. So I'm going to pop bigger one on there. Just grab my little pickup tool, and these are great for flowers. And I'm going to pop a smaller one over here. Oops, if I can pick it up. And then I've got these sort of Aurora Borealis ones. I haven't got many of the teeny tiny ones. What I thought I'd do is just fill this space with 5 more gems, and just sort of flight of the butterfly really. So just put one there, and then let's grab these teeny tiny ones. Again, this glue all dries clear, so don't have to worry too much about it. Come on, turn over the right way, that's it. And then last one, hiding in the corner. Let's see if I can fall it. There we go. Get it to fall upright. Okay, and that is going to be my second card. So you've got the sort of flight sort of thing. You could go closer together if you wanted to. If you've got any of those templates where you can do a swirl, anything like that would look cool. And then obviously there'll be an insert or something on the inside. Like those you can see are sort of milky white at the moment. when that glue dries, it will dry clear. Okay, so let me just bring back in that first card. So two quite different looking cards, but very springy, you know, sort of spring themes, because that's when you usually see these little primroses and the violets, don't you? But that is it for today. I am still going to come back again with this kit. I think I'm going to keep working with it until where are we now? We're sort of at the end of the week, so the beginning of next week. And then I think I've still got some Christmas kits that I haven't used yet. The penguin ones, which is on the Black Friday deal. So I might have a little play with those sort of for a couple of weeks up to Christmas, depending on what Hunkydory bring as well. You know, if something comes out that really takes my fancy, then I might have to buy it and play with it. But the plan at the moment is to have a couple more plays with this one, and then move on into some more Christmas crafting. But thanks for watching today, and take good care of yourselves, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye.